Video by Intellipaat. In today's video, we are diving into the skill of web hosting, an essential knowledge for anyone looking to establish their online presence. So whether you are an aspiring blogger or a small business owner or a college student who just want to share their projects with the world, having a website is an essential tool. However, hosting can be expensive for many, and that's where free web hosting comes in. It's the gateway to launching your online dreams without breaking the bank. In this video, we will explore two specialized platforms that are Netlify and Vercel, both which are known for providing free web hosting and deployment services specifically designed for web applications and static websites. So by the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding of how to deploy your web applications or static websites to these platforms for absolutely free. But before we dive into the video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that you never miss any updates coming from our side. Now let's jump on to our agenda for today's video. We start with what is deployment and various stages that we go through. Then we will see what are hosting environments. After that, we will see what is virtual hosting. Later on, we will look into the deployment platforms. And lastly, we will be looking into how to deploy your static websites or web applications to Netlify and Vercel platforms. And with this, we will conclude today's video for free web hosting. Let's start with the first topic on our agenda. What is deployment? So in context of software development, deployment refers to the process of taking a software application, or I can say system, that has been developed and making it accessible and operational on a production environment, typically a server or a hosting platform. It involves all the necessary steps to prepare, configure, and launch the software so that it can be used by end users or the clients. And deployment is the one that ensures that application runs reliably, securely, and efficiently in a live environment. Now let us see the 5 main stages that comes under the deployment process. The first one is planning. So to make sure the deployment process goes as smoothly as possible, it is best to have a deployment plan that you follow every time. So by having a plan, you ensure that everything is done in the same way each time changes are made. So this is especially helpful when multiple users are working on the same project. Next, we have development. So once you have the plan in place, it's time to do the actual development. So to ensure that any development can be done simultaneously and without breaking anything, it is important to only work on local or development environments. And once the development phase is done, it's time to start testing and deploying the changes through our environment setup. So testing your changes is crucial to ensure that no bugs make it into the final production environment. But testing cannot be completed without deploying your changes to the new environment. And in this stage, if you discover any bugs along the way in any environment, it is important to have a plan for how to handle these. Typically, any changes that doesn't pass the testing on the staging environment should be sent back to the development phase, and once fixed, again work its way through the environments. And if everything is properly tested and checked that all of your changes work on your local or development environment, it's time to deploy the changes to the next environment in the line. So once all of the testing has been done on the previous environments and any bugs have been fixed, it's time to deploy your changes to the live environment. And this should be pretty safe thing to do, but everyone who worked with the software development knows that something can still go wrong, right? So even though it's easy to stop here, it's important to include the final step of the process, and that is monitoring, right? So once your new changes are live and real users are actively using your websites, or I can say application, it's important to monitor that everything works as intended. No matter the planning put forward, there is a chance that customers encounter issues or perform actions that you did not anticipate during your planning or development stages. So a good tip for monitoring is to plan releases for times where the least amount of users will notice and where you have the development resources ready in case something needs to be fixed. So that way the number of users impacted by any bug will be minimal and you have the people ready to fix it or roll back the changes if there is a need. So next in our agenda is hosting environments. So a hosting environment in context of web and application hosting refers to the infrastructure and settings where websites, web applications or other online services are stored, managed and made accessible to the users over the internet. Hosting environments encompass the hardware and software infrastructure required to make a website or application available on the internet. These include servers, data centers, and network equipment. The software stack within a hosting environment consists of the operating system, web server software that is Apache or Naginx, database systems like MySQL, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, etc., and any additional software or libraries needed to run that specific applications. So the choice of software stack can impact the performance, security, and compatibility of hosted websites and applications. Right. Now let us see what are the basic types of hosting that were offered to the website owners. So the first one is shared hosting. This an economical option but not the best. For example, an extremely busy site could easily use up to 80% of the memory of that shared server, leaving a very little amount for others. So can shared hosting be a good option? Yes, it will be, but for the websites in the development, test sites or those where the loading speed is not an important element. Next is dedicated hosting. So this is the preferred option for sites hosting more than 1 lakh visitors per month. The name says it all, like one server hosting one website. But the main disadvantage of dedicated hosting option is that it requires major computer and hosting skills. Next is virtual private server hosting or VPS hosting. So this hosting is an excellent value for money solution. Like this shared environment is limited to a maximum of 20 sites per server, where each site on the server is given the same amount of memory and space on the server. Lastly, we have cloud hosting. So cloud hosting is an improvised version of VPS hosting. It affords users the possibility of utilizing the resources of many servers on the same network. So this option works best for large company as many options are available in computer security. Okay, now next in our agenda we have what is virtual hosting. So it is a web hosting service that allows multiple websites or web applications to share a single physical web server and its resources. So as we have all discussed in the previous slides about the type of hosting that were provided, this virtual hosting is often referred to as shared hosting or a virtual web hosting. Each hosted websites appear to have its own dedicated server even though they are running on the same physical machine. So this virtual hosting method is widely used for small websites, blogs, and applications due to its cost effectiveness and simplicity. So here are some of the popular web hosting providers that were available like Hostinger, Bluehost, HostGator.com, DreamHost, GoDaddy, AccuWeb Hosting, and many more are available like this, where you can host your websites according to your needs. Now let's jump on to the next topic on our agenda, that is deployment platforms. So what are deployment platforms? So deployment platforms are the one which are also known as deployment services or platform as a service, or I can say PaaS, right? So these are the cloud-based environments and tools that simplify the process of deploying, managing, and scaling software applications. So these platforms are designed to streamline the deployment of applications, making it easier for developers to take their code from one development to production environments. Next, here are some of the common deployment platforms that we can use to deploy our websites and manage them. Like we have Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, Heroku, Google App Engine, Netlify, Vercel, And also there are many more platforms like this that you can use according to your basic needs, right? And in today's video we are going to see how to deploy our static web page, or I can say React web application, to these two platforms for absolutely free, that is Netlify and Vercel. So now let's jump onto that. So before we see that, let's first see what Netlify and Vercel platforms are basically. So Netlify is basically the best or platform as a service provider that specializes in hosting static websites and modern web applications. And using Netlify, developers can connect their GitHub code repositories and automatically deploy their sites, and also gets the changes done whenever changes are pushed to their repository. And Netlify also provides features like continuous deployment, serverless functions, HTTPS, and many more. Now let's see what Vercel platform is. So Vercel is also another PaaS provider that mainly focuses on hosting web applications, especially those which were built with the modern front-end frameworks like React, Vue.js, Angular, and others. And by using Vercel, developers can connect their code repositories to Vercel and enable features like automatic deployments and CI/CD workflows. This platform is also well suited for applications that require server-side rendering and API endpoints. Now, how to deploy on Netlify? Let's jump on to the Netlify platform and see how to host our basic websites for free. Okay guys, now I am here at the Netlify platform where we are going to see how to deploy a simple website within a few minutes. So for that, we need to log in first to our Netlify account. So that we can do from here. And if you are a new user, just select the option here, you can see sign up, and sign up with the GitHub account. And once you select here, you will be redirected to the page where you will be asked to give the authorization. And once you give that authorization, your GitHub account will be connected with the Netlify application, right? And once that will be done, you will be redirected to the Netlify dashboard page. So let me log into my account. So this is how your Netlify dashboard page look like. So in this page, you can see this section where you are getting an option to deploy your project directly from your Git repository. So you can choose this option if your project repository is already present in your GitHub account. So in my case, it's not present in my GitHub account. So we are going to deploy our project manually from our local system, right? So here is my project. I have basically designed a portfolio website with some simple login page using some basic JavaScript snippets. So this is the HTML and CSS file for my login page, and this is the JavaScript snippets that I have written. And these are the HTML and CSS page for my portfolio website. And if I run my project, here I need to log in with the credentials that I have provided in my code. So I'm providing the credentials. So this will only redirect me to the portfolio page if the provided credentials are correct. So here you can see the provided credentials is not correct. So here you can see it's giving me an invalid message because I haven't provided the correct credentials. So once I provide the correct credentials, it will redirect me to the portfolio page, as you can see here. So this is the simple project that I have. As you can see, this is a simple project that I have made using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So as you can see, this project is currently running on localhost, or I can say it's running on my local system. And now what we are going to do is to deploy this project on the Netlify hosting platform for absolutely free. So how do we do that? So to deploy our project manually, we need to select this option, browse to upload, right? So once you select that, we need to select our project folder that we have in our local system. So my project folder is this, web hosting YT. So I'm basically uploading this project file. So once you select that, all your project files will be uploaded here. And once all your files get uploaded, you will get a pop-up like you can see here. The projects get deployed automatically within a few minutes. Now let's check where our project is deployed. And here you can see our project. So once you click that, it will redirect you to the Netlify deployed project. So here you can see it is now deployed in the Netlify platform, right? So now let's try to give our credentials here and see whether it's working or not. And here you can see it's working properly, right? Now you can see this is our project name, which is very lengthy. So what we can do, we can also change this name. So how we can do that? So to do that, just go here, site configuration, and change your project name here. To change the name, just click here, change site name. So now let's give it bit bytes. So now this will be our updated link for our project, right? Let's save this. So now our link gets updated here. Now if you press here, you can see our link is updated and it will be going to work the same way. You can see it's working properly here, right? So that's how you can update your links also. And if we go to our previous link, nah, it's not working now because our link is updated to this link right now. So that's how you can deploy your website to Netlify platform within a few minutes for absolutely free. Okay, next we have how to deploy on Vercel. So let's jump onto the Vercel platform and see how to host the basic React applications for absolutely free. Okay, now I am here at the Vercel hosting platform where we will be going to see how to deploy a basic React applications within a few minutes. So firstly, we need to log into our Vercel account, and if you are a new user, you can simply sign up from here, and you need to sign up using your GitHub account. And once you select the GitHub account, you will be redirected to the page where you need to authorize your GitHub account and the Vercel platform. And once you provide that authorization, you will be redirected to the Vercel platform, or I can say Vercel dashboard, right? So let me log into my account. So I will be logging with my GitHub account only. So once you log in successfully, you will be redirected to this page that is Vercel dashboard, from where you can host or deploy your various projects. From here, you can deploy any of your projects that you want to. But to host your projects, you need to have a Git repository of that project in your GitHub account. Without having that Git repository in your GitHub account, you can't directly, or I can say manually, deploy your website or project to this Vercel platform. You need to have a Git repository for your project, right? So here is my basic to-do list project that I have made using React, and we will see how to deploy this project in the Vercel platform. So here are all the files for that to-do list project that I have made, right? Okay, here is the GitHub repository of my project that I have already pushed from my local system. Because as I said, we need a Git repository to deploy any of our project to the Vercel platform, right? So let's see how to deploy our project to this Vercel platform. So for that, first, as I said you, we need to select add new here and then project. And from here, we need to select the repository that we want to import. So in my case, it is to-do list app. As you can see here, this is the repository I want to deploy. So as you can see, that repository is also available here. So we will import this repository, to-do list app. And once you import, you will get an interface like this. So here you can change the project, repeat. So here you can change the project name if you want, or if you don't, you can keep it as it is. And here you need to select the framework of your project, and by default it already selected the framework that I'm using for my project. And then the root directory. So here my root directory is already set by default, and if you want you can also edit that from here. So now there are some environment variables or build and output setting. So according to your project, if you need all of these, you can edit. So that's all we have for this video. So thank you for staying with us till the end. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow mates. Also, do subscribe to our Intellipaat YouTube channel to never miss any updates coming from our side.
Just a quick info guys, Intellipaat offers full stack web developer course in collaboration with E&ICT Academy IIT Guwahati. Through this course, you can learn everything from front-end web development to back-end web development from esteemed IIT Guwahati faculties and industry experts. With this course, we have already helped thousands of professionals in successful career transition. You can check out their testimonials on our Achievers channel, whose link is given in the description below. Without a doubt, this course can set your career to new heights. So visit the course page link given below in the description and take a first step towards career growth in the field of web development.